I knew how this was going to end, but I couldn't stop it. No matter what I tried, this fucking nightmare always played out the same way, just like it had in reality. Looking down at my sneakers, I kicked a rock off the footpath. I didn't want to go home, so I was taking my time, just like I always did, but not too much time. We lived in a shitty part of the western suburbs of Melbourne, Australia, and if I walked too slowly I'd become a victim to worse things than what I was going home to. Ever since Gordon, my stepfather, lost his last job over a month ago, I never knew what I'd find when I got home after school. I wish Mum would kick his ass out. I was 13 now, and old enough to help her out. I'd do more for her and my little sister Grace than that piece of shit currently did. If only Gordon would just fuck off. I clenched my fists and released them a few times. I prayed for the day I was strong enough to successfully fight back. I'd tried. I would always at least try to keep him from hurting Mum, but so far it had only ended in me getting a beating. Still, it had saved Mum from his fists, so it had been worth it. However, when I was at school, I couldn't step in front of her. Little Gracie was only 3 years old, so she was stuck home with the monster all day too. So far, he hadn't laid a hand on her. If he ever did, I'd take a knife to him in his sleep. Little Gracie was an angel. So sweet, and despite the house of horrors she was living in, always had a big smile for me when I got home each day. The faint scent of smoke made my nose itch. It was early April, which meant it was still fireban season, but that didn't stop people burning off rubbish whenever they bloody well felt like it. I didn't pay much attention to it until a block later, when the smell got stronger and I looked up from the footpath to search for the origin of all the smoke. My heart stopped beating and my lungs froze for a horrible moment when I saw the pillar of dark smoke coming from our house, just over a block ahead of me. Fuck! Mum! Grace! I was sprinting before I was aware I was moving, flying down the footpath, faster than I ever had before. I skidded as I turned onto our front lawn. The heat from the fire licking up the front wall of the house had me backpedaling. "Donnie! Stay back, son!" Mrs. Sticks from next door was rushing over to me, reaching for my arm, but I couldn't let her get me. I had to try to get Mum and Grace out first. Shaking my head at her, I dropped my bag off my shoulders and bolted to the back of the house. Easily jumping the little fence at the side, I scrambled up the steps and wrenched open the back door. Thick smoke escaped instantly, surrounding me and making me cough and wheeze, but I wasn't going to let it stop me. "Mum! Grace!" I couldn't hear anything over the roar of the fire that had engulfed the front of the house. Mum and Gordon's bedroom was up there, but Grace and I had rooms here in the rear of the building. Lifting the neck of my shirt up over my nose to block at least some of the smoke, I went for Grace's room first, hoping she was in there. She was often napping at this time of day. Feeling my way through the smoke, I found my way to her bed. I could make out her body on the mattress. Hoping she was just sleeping, I gave her a shake, but she wouldn't wake up. The smoke was getting thicker, and I pressed my nose against my shoulder to try to block even more of the shit so I could take a breath. Knowing I didn't have much time, I didn't bother trying to wake her again, but gathered her limp body against my chest and ran for the back door. I tried not to think about Mum. She had to be in the front of the house. If she'd been in the back, she would have grabbed Grace and gotten out already. Tears stung my eyes as I bolted out the back door and carried my sister around to the front yard, where I could hear sirens. I was coughing with every breath, my lungs burned and my body shook, but I refused to drop my sweet little Gracie. No way. It took a moment to open the side gate, and then I was back in the front yard. Thankfully, the fire hadn't reached this side of the house yet, so I could still pass through. I needed to get Grace to the ambulance. They'd fix whatever was wrong. It was their job, so they had to. I refused to accept any other outcome. Mrs. Sticks was running over to me when I looked up. "Oh, Donnie, yeah, let me take her." "No, she's mine." The pain that flashed in her expression didn't affect me at all. My mind had focused solely on getting Grace to the ambulance. I couldn't even think about anything else. "Okay, that's okay, lovey. You bring her over to the ambulance. You need to let them take you both to the hospital, okay?" She wrapped an arm around my shoulders and guided me over to the multiple vehicles with their flashing lights.